All right, guys, here we go again. Today is Wednesday, and we are having a date. We're having a date with you on this beautiful day. Look at these blue skies in Miami, guys. Look at this. That's what this webinar is about. How to get the blue skies like that in September and year round, right? So what I'm talking about bringing you here in the US, letting you stay here, and for some of you, getting the green cards. All right, so that's what this webinar is about. I remember myself when I was 18 years old, the first time when I came to the States. I was in JFK airport. I looked at the sky when I got out. It was as blue as right now. And you know, those emotions I will never forget, because this is the best, guys. This country is the best, and I'm willing to give you my time to educate you on the best ways how to get here if you are a businessman, a businesswoman, any person that deals with any kind of capital, with businesses, with companies, who has startups and things like that. So today we are going to be discussing all the business visas that are available for you. And without further ado, we're gonna go on. Probably we're gonna spend an hour and a half, depending how active you are. Make sure that you have that time, because if I go deep into material, you need to be focused and you need to have time for that. All right, so let's go on. Please give me a plus sign, guys. Give me the plus sign if you can hear me and if you can see me well. Please start being more active and involved. I know not all of you want to do this, but that's always a good thing for me, that you guys are ready to get all the material, that you're ready to be involved. And most importantly, guys, what is your motivation to come to the States? All right, I mean, the fact that you're already here watching me on Livestorm, if you registered, maybe watching me on YouTube if you haven't registered, and of course those of you who are on Livestorm, you will have a benefit of being able to ask me questions. Okay, those of you who are watching me on LinkedIn, on YouTube and other platforms, on Facebook and others, you guys just have the option to hear the material and just know what's going on. All right, maybe if we have time, the moderator will take a look at those platforms and see what's going on there in the form of questions, and if we have good questions, maybe we'll be able to answer them. All right, but those of you who are here right now on Livestorm, you guys have all the benefit of being able to communicate with me directly. So let's see which countries you guys from. Let's see. Let's do the countdown for the countries. Last time we had about 20 different countries from all over the world. So drop your country if you want to drop your city. Let's see the geography. Okay, Rahul, I see is Rahul is in Florida, United States. Rahul, which city? Because I'm in Miami. Okay, I'm in Miami. So which city you from in Florida? Andrea is from Spain. Andrea, I know you're coming to our webinars from time to time. It's very good. Mr. Kukoski, Macedonia. I love you people from Macedonia. You have great food and great personalities. I don't think we have clients from Macedonia. I don't think that we do. Spain, yes, definitely Spain. US, obviously, we do have clients from here and on a corporate work. Rahul's in Tampa. Rahul, how's the weather? I guess it's the same as in Miami. Nice blue skies and really warm. Genko is from Bulgaria. Definitely have clients from Bulgaria. We actually just filed the case for our Bulgarian client just recently. Okay, let's see what else. Mary Ann, Czech Republic, Prague. a beautiful city. I've never been there, but it's definitely on my bucket list. And we do have clients from Czech Republic. Raul says, hey, yeah, it's warm in Tampa. Yeah, for sure. Tampa is like in the middle of Florida. Nice city, really fast developing. Another person from Macedonia. Look at these guys. How many countries are there? And we have 2 people from Macedonia, which is great. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Macedonia, the official name for Macedonia is Northern Macedonia. Did you guys ultimately change the name of the country, or it's still Macedonia because you're writing Macedonia? Is it like just because it's too long to write in Northern Macedonia? Just educate me on that. If you have a minute, just let me know. Okay, very good, pretty good geography. We have, I'm surprised we don't have anybody from Asia. Well, maybe people from YouTube. I know we have people from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh. We have clients from China, Japan. Asia has a good presentation with our law firm. Yes, it's North Macedonia, not Northern. Okay, good. North Macedonia works for me. Okay, very good. And I know you guys have all these arguments with Albania and Serbia and Greece about Alexander the Great. So there's a lot of politics and history going on. I'm a fan of history. I don't go into arguments on that particular topic. I leave it to you guys from Balkans. You guys do all the arguments. I'm a listener. Let's see where we get with that. Let me know once you guys resolve these issues. Alexander the Great was a great person. Well, he really was. Okay. So also, guys, please, if you have some burning questions and like, I want to know this, yeah, definitely, Mr. Kokoski, no arguments here, no politics, no arguments on history, no. We're gonna talk specifically about the immigration visas. We're gonna focus on real cases, on today's climate, with the business immigration, and only that. Okay, that's where I'm expert. That's where I know what I'm talking about. That's where we get a lot of success. So we're gonna be focusing only on that. So drop your questions, guys. If you have like something you really want to know, maybe you're thinking, hey, I want Stanislav put more emphasis on this or on that, or maybe you want to know like details on certain visa. Maybe you want to know more examples. Maybe you want to hear more about real cases. So don't be shy, guys. Don't be shy. Just drop the questions. I guarantee there are no silly questions. Okay? If you think, oh my God, I asked this question, somebody think I'm silly, I'm stupid. No, there's no such a thing in immigration law, because each question has an answer. So do not be shy. So these are the topics we are going to discuss today. And like I said, if you don't see something that bothers you or of interest to you, just make sure you let me know. Like, okay, Stanislav, maybe you focus on this, or tell me more about that, or maybe explain better. Because sometimes I feel like, because I do it every day, and for me things are very clear and I understand every word what I'm saying. But from a person who is not in the field, like, oh man, all these definitions and terms, maybe just explain it like I'm 6 years old. So let me know, guys. Let me know if something I'm explaining does not make sense, because my purpose and my goal today is make sure that you guys understand. Okay? So if you don't, let me know. And I'm not gonna go one by one. You guys have a chance to read everything that we will be discussing today. So let's just move on, not waste our time. Some piece of advice, guys, how to make the most of our webinar. Okay, how can you do this? All right, first of all, I recommend that you guys be by yourself, or if somebody is present in the room, in the house, wherever you are, in the street, they do not bother you, okay? Because only 100% focus is gonna give you the value, and value is that what I really care for, okay? Value for you guys. So put your devices on the side, make sure you have a good connection with internet, and you take notes. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to take notes. And I know some of you like, oh, Stanislav, I'm recording from the screen, I'm recording on my phone, I'm doing something. Guys, no one is gonna come back to this webinar, okay? No one of you who is present will come back to this. So please give me 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours of your time, and that's your best shot, all right? And no one has time to come back to this. For those of you who is gonna stay till the end of this webinar, I'm gonna give 2 bonuses, 2 gifts. Number 1, you will be able to know how to get a free evaluation of your case, of your business visa, okay? I'll let you know exactly how to do this. And bonus number 2 is a guide on how to open a company in Miami. Step-by-step guide, what needs to be done. And Raul is already here, so in Tampa, maybe Raul will open a company while he's here in the US, and also open a bank account, which is really important for business visa, especially for some business visas. And you guys know it, to be able to open a business checking account in a bank, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is to be present in the US, okay, like for example being in Tampa, or number 2, pay a lot of money to open online bank account, and you don't have to be present, but I can tell you the price is probably around $3,000 just to open a bank account. So it always makes sense to have the checking account opened if you have an option to come to the States, okay? Do not forget that. It's very important. Yes, and Raul says, yes, I'm gonna do this. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Okay, same here. Kind of your expectations, guys. I know your expectations kindly, Stanislav. I want to know what are the visa programs are there, what are the criteria, and step-by-step guide how to get things done. Kind of along those lines. But if you guys have any comments or some other expectations, please let me know. Please let me know so I could use that for the purpose of this webinar. Okay, let me guys tell you a little bit about who I am, so you get to know me a little bit better, because I know a lot of you watch my YouTube channel. Some of you follow me on Instagram. Some of you follow me on TikTok, on Facebook. By the way, guys, I do recommend you, if you're really serious about your immigration to the US, I do recommend you not only follow me and be subscribed to my YouTube channel, which is a great source of information, but also at least Instagram. Because on Instagram, I do everyday stories, I do posts, I explain things that I don't talk about on Facebook, on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you guys subscribe to my other platforms to stay in touch and being up to date to what's going on. And I will ask the moderator to drop the links to my YouTube channel, to my TikTok, and to my Instagram. Okay, I don't post the same content. All content is exclusive to a particular platform. So, who is Stanislav Shamaev? Well, I'm a business, immigration, and corporate attorney here in Miami. I've been practicing law for almost over 8 years in my own company, and my total experience in American jurisprudence is above 11 years. I have my own corporation here in Florida. We employ more than 100 people. So more than 100 people working only for one purpose, to get you the result, guys. Okay? We have 10 departments, for the time of our existence, we have more than 2,000 approvals for business visas, talent visas, investment visas for people from more than 50 countries in the world. Okay, and probably already more, because we update our statistic once a year. So definitely the statistics for the beginning of 2023, and definitely the statistic already different. It's much better than now. Also, I'm a member of Florida State and Broward County Bar Associations. I'm also a member of Florida Circuit Courts and the Courts of Appeals, and also 11th Federal District Court of Appeals. Okay? And I can practice immigration law in any state of the United States of America. So, for example, Raul is here in Florida. So definitely I can help Raul to get his paperwork. But if Raul was in California or Hawaii or Massachusetts or any other state, it doesn't really matter. We can help people across the US because the immigration law is federal. And because it's federal, it applies equally to all 50 states and territories. All right? So make sure you understand that. We have a specialization, guys. We do not take all the cases in immigration. We do not take family laws. We don't do deportations. We don't do political asylum. We don't do immigration courts. All we do three directions, three ways: business visas, talent visas, and work visas. Okay, so three directions, and that's all. So we narrowly specializing in those type of visas. Okay, let's move on. And before I begin with the E2 visa, let's see, there is a question. Krasimira, what a beautiful name. Miss Kalcheva, a beautiful name. Can you open a business bank account without an SSN? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. First of all, you do not have to be a US citizen, a green card holder to open up a company in the US. Moreover, you do not have an American in the company to open the company. Moreover, you actually don't have to be present in the US to open a company. Okay, so all you need to open US company is the name of the company and basically it. So the name, and know the state where you're going to incorporate it, and the type of the company, LLC or corporation. Yes, there are other types of company, limited liability company, partnership, limited liability partner. There's a bunch of them, okay? But for most of you, LLC and C corporation are the options, okay? And I don't see why would you go for some crazy incorporation like partnership or limited partnership. It's just a headache. It's just a headache, and for nothing, okay? For nothing. There are certain type of businesses where it makes sense, but for overwhelming majority, LLC and a corporation will do the trick. Okay, that's all you need. So once you open your company, and Miss Kalcheva, it's a great question, because before you can begin any type of process with the business immigration, you gotta have a company. Okay, so you choose the state, you choose the form of incorporation, LLC or corporation. And again, the simplest way is LLC. Most of you will have an LLC just because it's easier with the paperwork and easier with understanding. Also, you choose the name, and that's pretty much it. So with this information, the company is being registered. And once it's registered, and you get, and put that in your notes, guys. Put that in your notes right away. The name of the document, it's called Articles of Incorporation. Articles of Incorporation. That's the document from the state where you registered your company that basically manifests the registration. Okay, it basically says, okay, this company has been registered, here's the paper. And with this paper, you need to file for EIN, okay, and put that down also. You guys probably know that term, employment identification number, EIN. This is like a social security for the company, okay. And Krasimira, you like, do you need the SSN? You need a corporate SSN, okay? Think about that way. Not personal SSN, but corporate SSN. What's corporate SSN? It's EIN, okay? And usually the easiest way to, we can do this for you, but also a licensed accountant can do this for you. It may take up to 2 months to get EIN on the company, so make sure you put that time in your calculations of your timing, all right? So the whole process from zero to hero, to no company to existing company, could take up to 2 months, okay? So make sure you understand that. Once you have EIN and articles of incorporation, you take these 2 papers and you go to the bank. You go to the bank and you open a business checking account, and maybe you ask for a credit card so you could start building your relationship with a US bank. So in a few years, once you are here and doing your business and you have a cash flow and maybe some profit in the company, that could open a good credit line for your business, all right? So once you're in a bank, ask for a business checking and a credit card. And probably they're gonna start low with you. It could be as low as $500. Not much, but it's a good start. Sometimes, I don't know why, but they could give you up to $5,000-$10,000 credit card. So, which is really good, you know, to add some cash flow to your business. And after that, that's it. You are ready for the operations. So you have the company, you have the bank account. If you don't have a bank account, you may use maybe PayPal. Maybe you can connect Stripe or any other acquiring service for your company, especially if you cannot be present in the US to open your bank account, or if you don't want to spend, if you're not present and you do not want to spend additional money to hire a company that can help you with opening the bank accounts without being present here. Okay, it's possible, but it's going to cost you a little bit. All right. So let's start, guys. Let's start. E2 visa, low investment visa, and again, low in $100,000 is a lot of money for all of us, for me, for all of you. But for the purposes of business immigration, it's considered a low investment visa. Okay, the minimum requirement for the amount of money is like it says on the presentation, is 100K. Yes, it's possible to go lower. Stanislav, what's the lowest investment you ever done for E2 visa? I heard the cases where people got it with 30,000, with 40,000, with 45. The lowest I went was about $55,000 to $60,000. Okay, so yes, I will ask you to invest 100K plus, but it's possible to go a little bit lower. All right, a lot of factors involved. First of all, is it a service business or it is a goods business? So you buy and sell goods or you sell services. If it's services, we probably can go a little bit lower. Okay, a little bit lower, just because the nature of service business is that you just cannot spend a lot of money on it. Okay, so there is no way we can spend like $70,000-$80,000 on the service business. Probably 40 to 50, and have some money on the business checking, just to show that we have money to start operations of the business. So E2 Treaty Investor Visa is available for more than 30 countries in the world. And you guys keep asking me about, oh, Stanislav, how can we look up the list of those countries if my country is on that list? Well, here's the QR code, guys. You can either just open the website and look it up, or just screenshot it and use it for your future reference. Okay, so with this QR code, you'll be able to get to the list of E2 treaty countries, and of course, most of the countries mentioned here, they are a part of this process, of this treaty. So, what are the requirements? Well, first of all, just like I mentioned, you have to have the right citizenship, the right passport, okay? One of those countries in the list. Second of all, investment, the amount of money invested. It's 100K, but just like I said, we can go a little bit lower. I'm not a big fan, but hey, depending on your business, we can work with a lower investment. Third, you must have a legitimate business in the US that is either a startup business or purchasing an existing business. Okay, two options. You come and buy, or you open the company, you register it, you get your banking account, you transfer 100K to that banking account. And very important, guys, make sure you understand it, or better, put that in your notes, because this is something a lot of attorneys forget, and of course a lot of people do not understand. That E2 visa requires you by law to invest at the time of filing your petition with the embassy, or if you're changing the status in the US, to spend a significant amount of the investment. Translation from English to English, I need you to spend 60, 70, maybe a little bit more % of your original investment. So, by way of example, if we invest 100K and we wanna open a bookstore on the boardwalk on Wildwood, New Jersey. There's a boardwalk. You wanna up a gift store, a bookstore, okay? And you wanna invest 100K. So at the time when I file your case with USCIS or with the embassy, US embassy in your country, $70,000 has to be invested in the business. Okay, so you already spent $70,000 and you have all the receipts and all the record of that. With the gift store, it's easy. You rent a place, you buy the furniture, you buy the gifts, you buy a computer, you buy software, you put the sign, you create a website, you do some marketing, or maybe you hire one person, a salesperson. But that's already $60,000 off the bat. Okay, that's easy. If it's a service business, a little bit harder, but still possible. Still possible. Okay, you must be at least 50% owner of this business. Okay, at least 50%. I like 50. Personally, I like 51%, just because it's easier on the paperwork. Because if we have 50-50, then we have to go deep in the corporate paperwork and operating agreement if it's LLC, or bylaws if it's a corporation, and make sure that we leave the control to both. There's a lot of things that needs to be done, okay? Because we basically have two owners, okay? So I like 51%, but if you like Stanislav, well, that's our agreement, 50-50. Okay, we can work with it. The basic understanding, why 50%? Because we need to show that you direct and control the business. Okay, direct and control, remember these two words. And that also translates into you being an owner of the business and employee. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough how many times I've seen that people on E2 who already got the visa, who got the business, did not pay themselves a salary. And that was a problem when they wanted to extend their visa. All right? And we'll talk about extension a little bit later. Because if you don't pay yourself a salary, you do not satisfy the criteria of E2 visa. So make sure you play those two roles. As an employee, you could be CEO as an employee, okay? And pay yourself a reasonable salary. Okay? Doesn't have to be a lot, but has to be reasonable for your position. And if your company is profitable and it makes additional money, then pay yourself with distribution. Think of it as a dividend, but the proper word for the tax purposes is not dividend, but distribution. Okay? So salary and distribution. That's more for your deeper understanding what you need to be doing after you got approved. Okay? I'm just giving you a little bit of insight. And that's the fifth tile, management, direct and control, paying yourself a salary. And also, we need to show economic impact. Okay, what's economic impact? That's either job creation or profitability, good profitability of business, or a hybrid of the two. So a few people and profitability of the business. Why? Because we need to satisfy the marginality requirement for this visa. Marginality. What's marginality? Well, that means that the business is not only supporting the investor and his family or her family, okay? It has a broader impact on the US economy through employment or through profitability, okay? That's also more insight for you guys after you got an approval, because at the time of filing, that's only projection. But that needs to be included in your business plan, okay? And business plan is very important for E2 visa once we make a filing with the US Embassy. And let's talk a little bit more about the duration of your E2 visa. It could be anywhere from 3 months to 5 years, okay? And guys, focus. I'm talking about visa, not the status, okay? So visa could be anywhere from 3 months up to 5 years, okay? But regardless, if your visa for 3 months, and it depends on the country. So each country gets its own duration for the visa. So regardless if your visa for 3 months or 2 years or 1 year or 5 years, when you enter the US with this visa, you get the 2-year status. Okay? That's important to understand. 2-year status, regardless of the visa duration. Let's talk about, let's first see about your questions, guys. Let's see your questions. How to find companies to buy. Paula, good question. So in the US, there is a profession. It's called a business broker. Okay, business broker. It's a licensed profession. So those people have a license to buy and sell businesses on behalf of the clients. And the licenses go by the state. Okay, so there are business brokers in Florida, in Georgia, in California, in Alabama, in Arizona. So make sure that when you go, when you want to buy a business, you already know which state you want to buy it in. All right, you already need to know where you want to live, where you want to deal your business, because those business brokers, they limited by the state. Okay. I know some business brokers here in the state of Florida, so you guys can contact me through our corporate WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, and I'll give you the contacts of the people if you need someone in Florida. I have good people who can help you out. Other states, you probably need to search on Google for business brokers and see the recommendations and the reviews. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. Is there a list of types of business that would be approved? Paula, great question. Great question, because for the purposes of E2 visa, it does not matter. It does not matter whatsoever. In my career, I had dozens and dozens and dozens of businesses approved for L1, for E2, and they were all over the place. Absolutely different businesses, starting from cleaning services, grass, lawn mowing services, construction, tile, roofing, siding, selling the ice cream in the mall, having auto parts businesses, property management businesses. Doesn't matter, guys. Does not matter. What matters is the amount of investment. And by the way, guys, I just realized that it's not here on the screen for E2 requirements, but I think that's the most important requirement. So let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's go back. So one more requirement which I didn't discuss, and it's missing on the screen, is the proof of funds. Okay, we need to show that 100K was made legally and that you paid all the taxes on this amount. So make sure that you know exactly how you made that money. You have all the records showing what was purchased, what was sold, the tax amounts paid, the tax agency's paperwork, and everything that you need to prove that everything was done properly by the book. Okay, Stanislav, I sold my apartment in Madrid, in Spain. It's all good. I have all the documents. It's good. It's good. But we need to know how you made the money to initially purchase this apartment. Okay, and we need to go back in the past as far as we need to get to the following sources of funds. Number one, your salary. Okay, if you collected your salary for a couple of years, you made your first capital, you purchased an apartment, it increased in value, you sold it, you purchased another apartment, it increased in value, you sold it, and you want to invest that money. No problem. We're just gonna go back in the past till we get to your salary and show how you gather that money, that you paid taxes, that you paid the taxes after you sold your first apartment, if you had to, because different countries they tax it differently. Then that you had enough money to purchase the second one, that you paid the taxes on the sale of the second apartment, and then we're good. Okay, then we're good. What else? Dividends, business dividends. Also a good source of funds. Sometimes we need to show what capitalization was of that business when it started operations. Okay, if it had a big number of investment, then we need to show where you got that money. A lot of times you guys started the businesses with nothing or like $5 in your pocket and a hole in the pocket. So that's the best, right? When we put like $5 in the business, then it grew and we're getting dividends. That's perfect. Also, credit in the bank. Credit in the bank is a good source of funds. Also, inheritance. Guys, inheritance. And I know it's a sad moment for the family when somebody dies, but that person leaves inheritance and it goes through the court system in your country and then it gets to you. It's all clean money. Okay, so everything that you got for inheritance is presumed clean money because they went through the court system in your country. Most of them go through the court system. And last but not least, and again, there's much more, but those are the basics. The best way if there is some problems, or if you have a lot of paperwork, you selling, buying Bitcoin, purchasing gold, buying stocks, then indexes, then US government bonds, then there's a lot of transactions. It's a headache. The best way to show that you have clean money is to take unsecured loan from a company. It could be your company, it could be somebody else. Okay? What it means, unsecured loan? What does it mean? It means that you basically have your personal guarantee. You don't use your apartment, your car, your Bitcoin, whatever you have in assets to support that loan. Basically, the company giving to you for your own promise to give it back in X number of years. Okay? This is the best. Why? Just because we need to show that the company has financial stability, that they pay taxes, that it's not a shell company, it's operational business, and it's a very small packet of documents. Okay, a small a number of documents to prove that. So if you have that, it could be, again, it could be your own company, could be somebody else. That's the best way to proceed. Okay, let's take a look at the questions. Paula, good questions. Can E2 lead to a green card? Actually, no, it does not automatically. It can lead to the green card, but it does not lead it to the green card automatically. Okay, you need to make another step. You need to requalify your case. And what are the most used programs to requalify yourself for a green card is to file for EB1A. That's the talent visa. If you're a talented businessman or a businesswoman, you can file for EB1A. That's not the topic of today's discussion, but just mark your notes, the types of visas, and then you can look up on my YouTube channel and other platforms that I have. Then EB1C. We're going to talk more about this visa today because it's a business visa. That's for those of you who have an operational business in your country or anywhere in the world. Okay, EB1C. Then EB2 National Interest Waiver, EB2 NIW. If your business is important for the US through maybe some technology, some innovation, something that you bring to this country, which is good for the country, or through economic impact, if you employ, let's say, 15 employees or more, you can get a green card that way. Okay, EB2 NIW. Also, do not forget that if you keep reinvesting the money to your business and you go up to $1 million throughout the years and you have 10 employees, you can get the green card through EB5. And we're going to talk about EB5 today as well, the large investment visa. And also, do not dismiss EB2 and EB3, the classic employment visas through the Department of Labor and the PERM certification, labor certification. Those are the options, but your employer has to be somebody else, not your company. Some other company that doesn't belong to you, neither to your relatives, okay? And just by the mere fact that you are present in the US on E2 visa gives you all the options to meet the people who will be willing to help you to get the green card. All right, very good question. So let's see what other questions you guys have. Why are there only a select few countries that are accepted nationalities for E2? Paula, that's also a good question because that means that this particular country signed a treaty agreement with the US. Okay, the trade treaty. And I don't know how it's the governments, the government, they talk, they find a way, they sign the agreement, and that means that the country will qualify for E2 visa. If the government did not sign it, you probably have to petition your government to do this. All right, let's pick up a question from YouTube stream. What if I've operated the business in the US for a year, have spent 30K, but the business has made a 30K profit? How will this be viewed? Does my salary count towards the at-risk money? No, actually, let's start from the end. The salary does not count at risk. At risk is only the direct investment that you've made in your business. So in your case, what I would do, you invested 30K in this business, and I would file for E2 visa and show the business plan with additional maybe $30,000 to $40,000 additional investment, and showing how you're going to use that money for the purpose of business. That's one way to deal with this. Maybe if you do the P&L for your business, a profit and loss statement for all the years, maybe you will see that you already reinvested money into your business, and maybe that could be counted towards the whole enterprise. Okay, actually this situation is really good because there are a few options how we can proceed, but they all viable. Okay, so E2 visa benefits. You and your spouse can work in the US. You will be able to work only within your business, but your spouse will have a work permit to work anywhere in the States. Okay, in your business, in another company, or maybe even start his or her own business. You can travel freely, provided you have the visa, valid visa in your passport. It could be up to 5 years expiration date for your visa, again depending on the country. Could be as low as 3 months. And examples of countries with 3 months expiration is Moldova, Ukraine, these are the remember, I think Kyrgyzstan, also three months. Don't quote me on that, but those are countries that for whatever reason they have a lower period of time. Most of the visas for 2 or 5 years, but I'll repeat myself, all of them give 2-year status. And definitely you can bring your kids who are under 21 and not married, and your kids can go to public school in the US for free. Okay, so these are all the benefits of the visa. It's really great for those of you guys who want to do commerce in the US and start your process of living in this country, and maybe thinking about how you can further proceed to get your green card. Okay, so let's see if I got all your questions. Okay, Krasimira, are there any limitations regarding the type of business is going to be established? I already kind of covered this question. For example, could that be real estate property management business with investments in the buying rental properties? Amazing question. It's amazing questions. It's possible. It's possible. First of all, let me share some experience with real estate management businesses. We actually had a few recent cases. One of them just approved from Canada, where we had a real estate agency business without investment into the properties. Okay, we were able to build this case only on investment in a company itself, without additional investment in a real property, in a real estate. Okay, and it's possible to still invest in the real estate, but it would be secondary for the E2 visa. Why? Because it's presumed that investment into the real estate in the US is not a risky business. Why? Because real estate is liquid and it's constantly increasing in value. Okay, so there are no risks or almost no risks. So we still can use that factor, but we want to make sure that we spend a good chunk of the investment on the company itself. And again, we had a good experience with that a few times, so we can help you out with that as well. Good question. Good question. Could you explain again regarding proof of source of income by using unsecured loans? It wasn't clear before. Okay, let's let's do it by way of example. In order for unsecured loan to qualify for proof of funds for the purpose of E2 visa, we need to have the following components. Number one, we need to have a company, and that company could belong to you or anybody in the world. It could be in your country, it could be in Brazil, it could be in Spain, it could be in Macedonia, North Macedonia, anywhere in the world. Okay, so there is a company and there is you. Okay, you and the company. So you go to the company, say, hey company, I need $100,000. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a promissory note, and the promissory note is a promise to pay back the money that you loan. And I'm gonna sign that promissory note and do not pledge any of my assets. I'm not gonna pledge my house, I'm not gonna pledge my car, my stocks, my gold, nothing. Just my own promise. So just hold me to my promise. And they say, okay, good enough. You're a trustworthy person, Paula. You're a great person. You have good skills. You have a good resume. Maybe we know you personally. So we're gonna give you $100,000. You're gonna give us the promissory note where we're gonna lay out all the terms, how you're gonna pay us back, and we're gonna transfer 100K to your personal account because you ask it personally, and then you gonna transfer that money to your US business. So they cannot give the money directly to US business. Yes, it's a formality, but we need to follow this step. First, the money goes to you, and then you send it to your company in the US. And we have a promissory note, we have this transaction, and on top of that, we need to show that the company is financially stable to give you that money as a loan. Okay? And also we want to show that they pay taxes, that they have a cash flow, and it's not a shell company, it's not money laundering scheme, because you know yesterday somebody sent them 100K and today they're giving this to you. This cannot be the case. They have to take it from their own assets. So if we have the situation like that, then we can prove to the US government that that money is clear, and we have all the proof that the money is authentic and has no restrictions. Okay, Paula, let me know if it was clear enough for you, because that's gonna apply also for EB5. Okay, it's a large amount of money, but that's gonna apply to this program as well. Raul, I have a question related to my case. Shall I ask it here or wait till the end? Raul, just shoot it right now. I'm gonna go, let's start with the EB5 visa. And by the way, guys, everything that I explained to you about the proof of funds for E2, same thing applies for EB5. So we are not going to spend time so I could explain it to you again. Okay, we already have explanation for the proof of funds. It's the same thing, but it's a larger amount of money. Okay, and think about EB5 in two ways. One way is a passive investment and the other is active investment. The difference between the two is, first of all, the amount of money to be invested, and second of all, the nature of control of this investment. Let me explain. If we go by passive investment, which is $800,000, we are giving this money to the US company that has accreditation and license from the US government, and that is called a regional center. Okay, so it's usually a developer who's building the buildings or rebuilding the buildings, and they have a license from the US government to participate in EB5 program and take the money from you, from investors, foreign investors, in exchange for a green card. Okay, so in a sense of a passive investment, we need to put $500,000 into these regional centers, and we have zero control of this money. We basically, all the business risks, they are on the regional center. So that's number one. And yes, it's called investment, but in fact it's a mid-term loan. Why is it a mid-term loan? Because this money is refundable. Okay, it's refundable. So when is it refundable? Usually within 5 to 7 years from the time of investment. So basically, you give this money to the US developers, you freeze it for 5 to 7 years, you get your green card, and then you get your money back. What a great deal. What a great deal. Moreover, both passive and active investment allows you to stay in the US while your petition is pending and having a work permit and advance parole. Okay? So if you have a tourist visa or any other non-immigrant visa, and ESTA doesn't count, guys, because I know that's there are people from Europe. ESTA visa waiver does not count. You gotta get a tourist visa. You may come to the States, of course, with the tourist purposes, and then you change your mind. You file for EB5, and you can file for work permit and advance parole, and basically that's a green card light. Okay, while you wait for approval, you can travel and you can work. If we talk about active investment, the amount of the money invested is $1,050,000, and yes, you have the control of the money, but it's on you to create 10 full jobs in the US in your business within 2 years after approval of your petition. If in the passive investment, that requirement is on the regional center, so they take care of the business in that respect. They control your money and they create the jobs. In the active investment, you control the money and you create the jobs. So you take all the business risks on yourself. Okay? So these are the two main philosophical differences between these two programs. Okay? And of course, you, your spouse, and your kids under 21, you all get the green cards, guys. All right, and I mean, all the benefits. Green card is a benefit in itself. Okay, so this is great. Let's see the questions. And we will switch to L1 and EB1C. Those are also the great programs for you guys. Raul, let me take your question. I want to get a green card. What are my options here? I already reached out to you by filing details, by filing the form. Okay, good. I did my master's here in the US and working here in the US since August 2015. Okay, currently working for a healthcare domain in Tampa, Florida. Now I am on H-1B visa, and my I-140 approved priority date is October-November 2018. Now I'm currently working my PhD online from a public university. Raul, which country you from? Which country you from, Raul? Because that's important. Because if you're from India, we have a problem. If you have another country, yes, so India by birth. That was my guess, because otherwise you would already file for 485. So your options are: option number 1, you just keep extending your H-1B, because there is exception in the law that allows you to go beyond 6-year H-1B if you have I-140 approved. Okay, and that is your case. So you have I-140 approved, so you got approval for whatever, EB2 or EB3, I would guess. maybe EB1A, I don't know, it doesn't really matter for this purpose, and you have an H1B, so you can indefinitely extend your H1B. Okay, that's number one. And option number, actually three, I'll give you three options. Second option, you can leave the country and just come back when your priority date becomes current, and I don't think this is an option for you because that could take 6 years or more, so I guess that's not an option. Option number three, I do not know your family situation, but if your spouse, the current or future spouse, has the nationality different from India, and I know you guys in India don't like this idea to marry somebody else outside of India. Like I said, no politics, no history, no cultural differences, but that's the fact. I know it for sure. So if that was the case, then you could use, and not everybody knows about it, guys, you could use the citizenship of your spouse to substitute your Indian by birth citizenship. Okay? So, Rahul, if you're married to Indian and you want to marry somebody else, you can marry a person from another country and get a green card really fast because you can use her citizenship instead of yours. It's a very narrow exception in the law, but it exists. Or if you're not married, you can always use that option. Well, there you go. So 3 options for you, Rahul. Very good question. For Itu Visa, Harris is asking, what is the minimum amount of business required? What is the minimum amount of business required? I mean, can it be less than 50K? Harris, I kind of answered this question. I've never went below $55,000. I heard, I have no proof, I have never seen the cases, I never seen the approvals for cases like this, but I heard from other attorneys who got approvals for $30,000, $40,000. Will I pick up a case like this? Maybe if you sign a waiver, if you sign a piece of paper that I'll give it to you, that you understand that the risk of lower investment may affect the approval on your case. Okay, if you sign a paper like this, maybe I'll take it, maybe. But without that, no, I wouldn't go lower than 55 or 60 and above. Can I do a job in a company on Itu Visa without any restrictions? If it's your own company, the one who was the petitioner, so let's say you have Harris Florida LLC, you got an approval for that company for Itu, you can direct and control that company the way you want it, have any position that gives you the power to direct and control. If you're asking me about other companies, no. However, if we got an approval for Itu for your spouse, not you, so your spouse has to work in the company for which Itu was approved, and you can work for any other company or start your own business. You're free to work anywhere. Also, yeah, that's basically the options you have. So having Itu, working for your own company, or being a spouse. If somebody else from your Itu country, let's say Harris, I don't know which country you're from, I don't think you mentioned. So let's say you're from Germany. Okay, you're from Pakistan. Good. So you're from Pakistan, and there is someone from Pakistan who has Itu Visa approved. So they can petition for you to work in the Itu company. 2 things to remember and understand. You have only 2 options for that to happen. Number 1, you have an essential role in the company, meaning you also going to be managing the company to some extent, so some important role in the company, or you have like some kind of specialized knowledge related to this business that the company needs in order to continue growing and scaling. Okay. Oh, there you go, Harris. You see, I'm a psycho, the vibe from Germany. So I guess that you see that you live in Germany. How interesting that is. So yes, basically you have these three options. So your own company in E2, through your spouse, and through somebody else from Pakistan who has E2 approved. Okay, all these options are available to you. Question from YouTube: how is someone supposed to get a business up and running within 3 months? Okay, I understand where this question is coming from. The question is stemming from what I've said before, and that is that the minimum amount of visa could be 3 months. All right, guys, let's go back and I will explain it again slowly, and I'll try to give you a lot of details. So there are two things we need to understand. There is a visa and there is a status coming from this visa. The visa is for entering the US. Think about it as a movie theater, cinema, movie theater, okay? If you want to go and watch a movie, you go and you buy the ticket, okay? You want to watch Avengers, the new Avengers movie, you go to the cinema, to the movie theater, you buy your ticket, you pay $20. That's for you to enter, to go through the gates, okay? But the ticket is for the movie that lasts 3 hours. Okay, so that's all you can do. You can watch one movie, The Avengers, for 3 hours. Then you have to leave. Okay, so same with the visa and status. Your visa is to enter the US, so you have 3 months to enter. But once you enter, that ticket, that visa allows you 2 years. It doesn't matter that your visa is 3 months. It doesn't matter your visa is 5 years. Regardless, the duration of your visa, of your movie ticket, you will have 2 years status in the US. You will be able to watch the movie for 3 hours. Okay? And you could buy the ticket in the movies, or you could buy the ticket through the an app. Okay? You're still gonna watch the same 3-hour movie. So regardless if your visa for 3 months or 5 years, it's the same 2 years when you enter the US. So with this new knowledge, with this new understanding, it's not required from you to get the business up and running for 3 months because you have 2 years. Okay? And 2 years is more than enough. Good question, good question. It shows me that I didn't explain it properly last time. Raul, I wanna marry. Do let me know if you have. Guys, I'm opening a marriage business. Helping you with your immigration needs. Good one. Raul was a good one. Paula, is there a way to get green card back when already given it up some years ago? Probably not. Paula, I hope you're not that person who gave up the green card many years ago. I rarely hear those stories, and those I hear, I do not believe. Okay, most of them I don't believe. Especially when someone say, hey, I used to have a green card, I just went to the embassy, I said, take it, I don't need it anymore. I don't believe it. Okay, I know some of those stories are true, some of them are definitely true, but most of them are not. So if you guys hear those stories, you know, don't trust them, but there are some of them that are really true, and people were usually young. Those are that true. Usually a person is like, I'm 20 years old, I'm so good, I'm going to university, I live in Costa Rica, I don't need this, oh, I don't need America, I'm gonna stay here. Okay, 10 years pass, green card is gone, and brain grew a little bit, oh my god. And yes, that's usually the storyline behind that. What are the options for green card for E5? Alina, I guess you mean EB5 because there is no E5 category. If you meant E2, I already explained, so I'm not going back because I was very specific on that transition. If you missed my explanation and your question was regarding E2, okay, so EB5. Alina, great question. If we're talking about EB5, that's a great question because, and let's take a step back, guys. Let's take a step back. How can you know if a certain name of visa gives you a green card? Because there is so many. Oh my God, EB1, EB5, EB3, O1, L1, P1, B1, F1. Oh my God, so many visas. Which ones of them are immigrant and which ones of them are non-immigrant that don't give you the green card? How do we know? What's the easy way? All right, let me give you this. Let me open up a secret for you guys. Any visa that starts with 2 letters, E, B, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. And there could be letters afterwards, EB1A, EB1B, EB1C, okay? And there are others. There's some categories, okay? It doesn't matter as long as a visa starts with EB, employment based, EB. That means that visa gives you the green card. So, Alina, answering your question, what are the options for the green card for EB5 visa? Once you get approval for EB5 visa, you got your green card. Yes, if you were outside of the US, you have to go through the consulate processing and things like that. You get your visa stamped on a passport, and when you cross the border with the US, that's when you activate your immigrant EB5 visa into the green card. All right? If you changed your status, and the proper way to say adjusted your status in the US, you get it through 485 form. Okay? You don't have to go to interview, you don't have to go to the embassy, you get it by mail. Okay? And EB5 approval means green card approval. And same for all other EB visas. If the visa starts with something else, L1, E2, O1, P1, M1, J1, B1, whatever that is, it's a non-immigrant visa and it does not lead to the green card automatically. Okay? So just remember that and you will be good. Okay, let's see. Paula, so is it possible to get... no. Paula, it's impossible. It's impossible. It may be possible if you had a 10-year green card and you were absent maybe for 2-3 years. You did not actively give it up. Okay? Because if you actively file the form, I give up my green card, bam, and it was approved, that's it. End of the story. No more going back. If you lost, or you think that you lost your green card by the fact that you were absent in the US for more than a year, and that's presumed that you gave up your green card, but you were absent maybe for 2, maybe 3 years, probably not more than that. Maybe if there is a good reason why you were absent in the US, you can restore it. Okay? But you probably have to go to the court with this process. Okay? And again, I'm not a specialist on restoring the green cards. I have expertise in talents, business, and investment. Okay, but I have some knowledge about other things, so that's my position on that. Alina, you're welcome, of course. That's the purpose of our webinar. Okay, guys, L1 and EB1C. Which one is a green card? L1 or EB1C? Which one of them? Of course, EB1C. Why? Well, because it starts. There you go, Krasimir. You're right. EB1C. Why? Because it starts with EB, right? Employment based. So we know that EB1C means a green card. L1 does not yet mean a green card. Why am I talking about EB1C and L1 at the same time? Well, because they are sister visas. In real life, the requirements for L1 and EB1C are the same. So if you read the laws for L1 and for EB1C, you'll be like, what's the difference? Absolutely the same. Maybe like there's like 3 words, 3 commas are different, but same thing. All right, so, and you'll be right. And L1 and EB1C, they both have the same law behind them, but a little bit different. The difference is in application of that law. Much lower requirement for L1 and much higher requirement for EB1C. So I have them separately, but we're gonna talk about them at the same time. Okay. So let's start with L1 because that's the logical way to start. What are the benefits of L1 comparing to other business visas? Well, you can get it approved for the idea, a business plan. Okay, you guys remember that to be approved for E2 visa, you already have invested 70% of your capital into the business, and that's the requirement to get an approval. If you haven't invested the money that's just sitting on your bank account, denial, not going to be approved. Okay, L1 allows you to put that money on the bank account without spending that money, file for L1 visa and get it approved. Okay, I think this is a great benefit. Of course, there are other things that needs to be taken into consideration, and let's talk about them. First of all, you have to have a business working outside of the US. Okay? You could be the owner of the business and employee at the same time. So let's say you're CEO of your own company, or it could be somebody else's company. So the position of the employee is more important than owning that company. In a lot of cases, it's the same. Ownership and being a CEO, CFO, CTO, general manager, whatever, president, doesn't really matter. Sometimes we have an employee who will be transferred to the US company that is affiliated. Okay, and we'll talk about it right now. So you have a company or you work in a company outside of the US, and you have 15 employees under your control. 15. Okay? So, and again, that's theory. Oh, Stanislav, I have only 13. Okay, we can work with the 13. What's the lowest number of employees I ever got approval for L1? The lowest number of employees for the foreign company? 8 people. Okay, 8 people. I think it's a risky business to have anything less than 12, but I want to see 15 employees working in a business, and you have a 3-step control of those employees. You are at the top. You have managers, other people, 2 or 3 of them, maybe 3, 4, 2 to 4, and subordinates to those managers. Okay, so think of it as like this the triangle. You're at the top of the triangle, then you have a few managers, and you have other people doing the actual work, administrative or operational work. Okay, and this structure could be the whole company. That's all the company that you have or where you work, or that could be a department in the company. Maybe it's a huge company, 100 people, and you the director of the department, let's say director of the marketing department. You have the project managers, and you have other marketing people working beneath. Okay, so three-way control of those employees. There's a bunch of exceptions, and there's like professional. There's more to this, but that's the basic level of understanding. So you must have worked in this position for over 1 year. And I hope you guys writing it down, because you can't remember this. That's too much. Even I don't remember this. Of course I do, but that's a lot of information. So a company outside of the US, you have 15 employees under your control. You control them in a three-step system, and you have worked for at least 1 year in that company for the past 3 years. I'm not gonna go deep why past 3 years, because you could have been fired or you left half year ago from that company, but still that 1 year still within the 3-year framework, so you can still be transferred to that company in the US. Okay. Now, we go to the US, and we have two options. And option number one, the startup business, only available to L1 visa and is not available for EB1C, the green card. Okay, so you can open up a new office, have an office space, have a business plan, and have the company, have the office, have the business plan, and the funding of this business plan. How much money we need to fund the business plan with? Well, the business plan is going to talk about it. If it's $50,000, it's 50. If it's 80, it's 80. If it's 100, it's 100. If it's 200, it's 200. Okay? So your business plan is going to mention the break-even point or the money for the first year of operations. So whichever is lower, we use to fund that company. And that is all. Okay, we need to show that you managed employees in your company outside of the States, and that you will be managing the future employees in the US company. And last but not least, affiliation between the two companies. What is affiliation? Affiliation means that both companies in the US and outside of the US are controlled by the same people or the same person, the same people, or companies. One company can own the other company. Okay, so affiliation is created by common control by whomever, a person, a group of people, a company. One company owns the other company, a combination of people and companies owning the controlling stock of the company. Okay, there's a lot of combinations, but just remember common control. Most of the time, it's 100% ownership in a company outside of the US. It's called a foreign company, and 100% ownership of the US company. That's all. Okay, that's most of the time. But sometimes there's like partners and this and that. So the common control. That's all we need. So what happens when we file for a startup for L1 visa? In 1 year, we need to get back to the US citizenship and services, immigration services, and ask them for renewal of L1 visa. And we need to prove that we satisfied our promises in the business plan. That's why it's very important to write a reasonable business plan. And what is the minimum promise that we need to make in a business plan? And guys, that's the core of L1 visa. Put it down or never get back to this, okay? In order for us to extend your L1 visa for another 2 years, if we started with a startup, if we started a new company, we need to have at least 5 people under your control at the end of year 1. Stanislav, my business idea does not require 5 people at the end of year 1. That means that L1 visa is not for you. Guys, it was so brutal. It was so brutal. It's true. It's true. The first thing I will ask you if you come to me, hi Stanislav, I want to get L1 visa. Does your idea require 5 people at the end of year 1 into your business? Moreover, at least one of these 5 has to be a manager. You're at the top, the triangle, okay? You're at the top. At least one manager, and 4 people are his or her subordinates. Maybe 2 managers and 3 people, or any other number above 5, okay? But why? Stanislav, where? I read all the laws on L1 or EB1C. I read all US manuals, all policies, White House website. Nothing talks about 5 people. And you're right. No law mentions 5 people, 8 people, 15 people in your company outside of the US. None of these numbers are mentioned. Where are we getting them? From experience. Okay? Only from experience, guys. And why? Because this number of people we need to prove to the US government that you have a managing or executive position. Okay? Just remember that. I mean, I can go deep dive in that. We don't have time for that. But just remember those numbers. In order, now, let's talk about EB1C. Okay? How big the company must be to switch from L1 to EB1C? 8 employees, guys. 8 employees under your control. Okay? Out of these 8 people, I need 2 or 3 managers. Again, the triangle. You're at the top. 2, 3 managers and 5, 6 subordinates, other employees. Okay? And show me some profitability of the business. Okay? That will play a good role. It's not necessary. It's not like I'm not gonna file, but it's always good. It's always good. So the question now is, Stanislav, is it possible to have a company outside of the US with, like you said, 15 employees or more under my control and purchase a business in the US with 8 employees or more and get EB1C right away? And the answer to this question is yes. You can do this. Now, Stanislav, do you know how much such a company would cost me? How much money will I need to have to purchase a business that will satisfy EB1C criteria? And But the answer is I do not know, but from my experience, it will be anywhere from $450,000 to $700,000. Okay? So think of this visa as a visa for those of you who has less than $800,000 for the purpose of EB5 and who wants to get your green card faster, because for EB5 we have a longer wait just by the nature of this visa, and EB1C there is no wait. Okay, so let's say you purchased a roofing company in Florida, and it could be $1 million company. Okay, profitable, good, established business with employees, profitable, and yes, it's more than $800,000. But having that company, you can get fast approval for EB1C within 45 days, and come to the US probably within a year with a green card. Okay, and then you can sell it if you want. So EB1C is for those of you guys who have, and again, you can grow. You can come with L1, start a new business, get 5 people at the end of year 1, grow it to 8 people by whatever, and then switch to EB1C. That's also, it's going to be cheaper probably than $500,000, but you'll spend more time, more stress, more nerves on your company, and but you'll get a green card at the end of the day. Would truck drivers be considered as employees? Of course, Chris Samira, definitely. Usually truck drivers, they prefer 1099, and we need employees on W2. But if you put them on W2, maybe for a short period of time, when you deal with your paperwork, that's going to be good. Definitely, any employee who is on W2, who is a part of your business, who gets the paycheck, okay, the paycheck in an envelope, gets paycheck like this. Guys, I got a paycheck. I also get paid with the paychecks. Is a W2, okay? 1099, no, they're not employees for the meaning of immigration laws. So make sure that your employees on W2. Paula, how fast to get green card if you are a manager abroad when you got an L1 visa? As fast as 1 year after you got your L1 visa, if it's a startup, if it's a new business, because that company in US has to be in operation for 1 year. If you, sometimes you can come to on L1 visa in existing business, and then you can file for EB1C right away, okay? Because L1 for an existing business is 3 years. Startup, so 1 year, and they all can be extended up to 7 years with the 2-year increments. Great visa for those of you who have a good, profitable running business outside of the US with the employees. Okay, guys, I'm getting tired. You probably too. So let me take a few more questions, and we're going to be wrapping up. Guys, you will those of you who stay till the end, and I know all of you because I have the statistics, you will receive an email with the links to the free evaluation and your guide. And also I will ask the moderator to drop the links right now for the guide and for the free evaluation. And I will ask you one thing, guys. If you want to get your case evaluated by me, and I do it within 2 days, but you need to fill out the form, okay? Once you get the link, click on it, fill it out, okay? Fill it out right now. Don't wait. Don't wait till Friday, till weekend, till evening. No, do it right now, okay? And you have it, 2 links, one for EB5, one for L1 and E2 and EB1C. There's 2 links. You can do both. And make sure you do it. So I look at your case. I'm not charging you a penny. And I'll let you know if you have a good case or not. And if I see that you have a good case, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning. Okay? I will build you a strategy for your case. Okay. questions. Make sure you guys screenshot this slide, because that's how you can connect to us on different platforms I mentioned: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, X. Make sure you do it, so we'll stay in touch. And I'll take a few questions from you, and we'll wrap this up. It was a good time, right? You guys tell me, was it? Did you get a value? I hope the answer is yes. Let me know your feedback. Harris, can we convert E2 visa to EB1C by hiring more employees in our own company in the US? Harris, great questions from you. Great questions. And the answer is yes, we can do this. Raul, I have a PMP certification, which is a project management professionals. Yes, I know the certification. If I now get a position as entry mid-level manager, can I also apply for a green card in EB1A or any other visa? Yes, you can. I guess your question is more about adjusting your status. And you need to look up your priority dates in visa bulletin. And guys, either Friday or Monday, there's gonna be a fresh visa bulletin released. So make sure you look it up, especially India-born people. Let's see if they addressed the backlog for EB1A. Because if it stays 2012, so like 11 years from now, I mean, the chances of it going back are very low. So Raul, in your case, your priority date 2018, 2017 is probably the best you can get out of it. Another option you have is to switch the priority dates, Raul. Yes, I think that's why you're asking this question. If you have the priority date for EB2 or EB3 in the past and you get approval for EB1 now, you can substitute your priority dates for the you can use your old priority dates for the new I-140. But again, if EB1 stays 2012, that's not gonna do any good to you. Okay, it's just not gonna do anything good. So we need to look at the new visa bulletin releasing this week or Monday and see what's happening. Good question, Raul. Good question. I see it. I see how you think. I see that you're making research on that. Good questions. Paula, may we know where you're originally from? Paula, you don't look enough of my YouTube videos because I'm open about it. I never conceal it. I'm originally from Russia. I've been living in the US since 2005, so almost 20 years. My first time I came to the US was 2003 when I was 18 years old on J1 visa, the student visa, work student visa. I have dual citizenship. I have Russian citizenship and I have American for almost 10 years. I consider myself American by spirit and Russian by birth, okay? I do love my country. I hate my government. They're doing crazy things right now. Can't wait for them to go away, okay? Because that's going to be the best for my country and for my people. Let's see. Raul, how about other visa filing links? Yes, I think, Raul, that's what you meant by what I mentioned, that you can switch the priority dates. Okay, guys, last question from YouTube. Can you do a status change from E2 to EB1C? Yes, I already answered this question. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, because you guys asked this question 2 times, I'll give you a little insight. If for whatever reason you do it by yourself, and God forbid you do it just by yourself, meaning with no attorney involved, or God forbid you're using like some paralegal services or people that like consultants, immigration consultants, oh my God, God forbid. But if you do it for whatever reason like that, not with a experienced seasoned attorney, you have to file 1 extra paper. So you will be filing I-140, Okay, that's your EB1C. You will be filing 485 once your priority date is current. Okay, because for EB1 there's 1 month backlog. I think because of the end of the fiscal year, September 31st, and you guys know it if you watch my YouTube videos and watch my Instagram, you know that the fiscal year in USCIS ends September 31st and starts October 1st. And that means that more green cards are going to be available in all categories of the green cards. So we expect EB1A to be current, and we expect EB2 to be really close to the current, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, we don't know, but less than a year. We expect maybe a little move on EB3. Everything else is not, it doesn't matter. EB2 is current. EB4, religious visas, they beyond our discussion. So you will be filing I-140. You will be filing 485 if the visas are available through visa bulletin. The status is current, or you wait until it's current. You file 485, and you have to file one more form if you are on E2, and that form is, to be honest, I can't remember the name. You can find it online, but it actually, you give up your E2 status to get the green card. Okay, E2 is the only visa that requires that form for the purpose of our discussion. Okay, so do not forget, if you work with me, of course we're not gonna forget, we're gonna file it in the package. But if you work with someone else, make sure that they know there is an additional form that needs to be filed when we switch between E2 to any EB category, not only EB1C, EB1A, EB2B, EB1B, EB2 NIV, NIW, and whatever that is, EB5. Okay, guys, we're done. Thank you very much for good questions. I think it was very good discussion. Make sure you guys watch my YouTube videos. You subscribe to at least my Instagram, but preferably for all platforms. And keep asking questions, keep commenting on YouTube, and that's how I make content for you. And I wish you all good luck, and make sure you fill out the form for your free evaluation. I'm Stanislav Shamaev, a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.